How's it going, everyone? The Trout91 here with 10 tips to succeed in the Gears of War 4 beta. Tip number 1, you can reload a full active when you're full of ammo. An active reload is when you perform a reload and you manage to get the moving line in the small white bar, giving the gun a temporary damage boost. In previous Gears of War games, you needed to expend your ammo before reloading, and it would only give you a damage boost on the bullets that were missing from the magazine. Now, you can not only get a damage boost on your whole magazine, but you can do it without expending your ammo. I suggest making use of this feature before entering engagements, or you're unsure of what lies around a corner, as it can certainly make the difference. Tip number 2, the dropshot is a great weapon, and I think a lot of people are struggling to use it despite how powerful it is. Almost like a boom shot that requires you to aim. You simply hold the left trigger to aim, then press and hold the right trigger. This causes the grenade to fly forward in the direction you shot it until you let go of the right trigger. It then slams into the ground and explodes. It's great for flushing out enemies behind cover. Be advised though, if you simply tap the right trigger, it will simply roll along the floor and blow up after a few seconds. Similarly, if the grenade hits an object whilst traveling, the flying animation will stop and it will fall to the ground and explode after a few seconds. Tip number 3, learn your power weapon locations. At the start of the map, you can press the B button to see the overhead map. This will tell you which direction your power weapons are from your starting spawn, and as it gives you time to see what side you're on, you can determine the best route. These weapons dominate the map and provide extremely high map presence for you to capitalize on gaining more power weapons and locking teams into their own spawn, as well as picking up some easy kills. Tip number 4, support your teammates at power weapons. The most important thing in Gears of War is your power weapons. Following up on my previous tip, if you're not going to win the foot race to a power weapon ahead of your teammate, don't be salty about it, help them obtain that power weapon, because it's far better for a teammate that can't do anything with that weapon to have it than the other team to have it and absolutely wreck your life with it. If you obtain it, you can also delay the respawn timer on it, meaning you don't need to worry about the other team getting it anytime soon. Tip number 5, one of the most fundamental tricks to being a great Gears of War player is learning how to wall bounce. Wall bouncing is a great maneuver for turning a battle in your favor by making yourself a more difficult target to hit and helping you get a better approach on your opponent. Simply go up to a wall and press the A button. This will start the cover slide animation. As you're sliding, use your right stick to adjust your camera to face the enemy as much as you will need. When you hit the wall, pull off the wall with your left thumbstick in the opposite direction of the actual wall itself. You will exit the wall and be able to continue on fighting. It's also worth mentioning you have the ability to cancel the wall slide in Gears of War 4 by pulling off the wall in mid-slide. Tip number 6, use the third-person camera to see around cover. This is a great tactic to keep yourself hidden from your opponents and surprise them with an attack. Sometimes when you're in cover, your head or your gun can be seen depending on the position. So using this feature is a great way to remain hidden, giving you more angles around corners and keeps you ready for a duel if necessary. Tip number 7. Now, there's no delicate way to put this, but the sound in the game, in the beta, is broken at the moment. You may have been playing and said to yourself, there's a guy over there, and I can hear him reloading and making grunting noises and sliding and shooting and all sorts of things. When in actuality, there's no one there, and he's actually across the map. So we'll take that, what you hear, with a grain of salt. Just every few seconds, take a look around your surroundings and don't get reliant on your sound or your teammates to be watching your back. Another way to help yourself is to grenade tag the walls. This also helps to combat the broken sound. By tagging the walls, you can use it to cover your back and it will go off when someone tries to sneak up on you, meaning you can either attack them or get out of there cleanly. Tip number 8, everyone wants to be a sick sniper. Gears of War is one of the hardest shooters to be a skilled sniper in that I have ever played. If you're not too handy with a sniper like I used to be, I would maybe suggest leaving it to someone else to pick up. However, if you find yourself in a situation where you have to pick it up to stop the enemy getting it, or you want to get better with it, then try out this advice. Don't use a sniper like you would in a normal shooter game. It requires a headshot to get a kill. Dragging the crosshairs or the scope is only going to make it more difficult to hit your opponent, and the chances of human error in the aim is higher. Learn to predict enemy movement patterns. For example, when your enemy is in cover, their head will always pop out in one spot. If you pre-aim the spot, you can usually catch this player out and pop their dome before they know what happened. When they sit in the middle of cover, they will always pop out over the top. If they're on the side, they will more frequently pop out to the side, but can sometimes pop over the top. When you're feeling more advanced, you can start to hit moving targets. If someone is rolling frequently, you can usually catch them out in this small period where they are unable to roll or move sharply again, and their head will be still. Line it up to where their head will be and hit the shot. If they're roadie running, aim to where their head is traveling. Place the crosshairs in front of the run and simply wait for them to run through the crosshairs. It's a lot harder to snipe on this Gears than Ultimate Edition, as the player's movement animations seem to be more dynamic, but the principles are still the same. Tip number 9. Targeting is a really easy way to help your teammates and pick up kills, as well as avoiding deaths. Simply aim at someone with your gun and click the left thumbstick in. This will give you a temporary mark on that enemy, so your team will be able to see where he's coming from and pay attention to him. And finally, tip number 10, you can swap your starting weapons off the spawn, so you start with a Gnasher instead of a Lancer. If you forget to do this and want to have a Gnasher out but don't want to break your running movement because you'll get to a spot on the map too slowly, press right on the D-pad whilst running after you spawn and it will preload the Gnasher switch request. Then use the cover to slide into and it will automatically switch to that gun when you've broken your run animation. If you found this useful, I would suggest watching my 10 tips to succeed in Gears of War Ultimate Edition, which will give you some tips to use across all of the Gears of War titles. I will likely do another video like this when the full game drops, or if you would like me to do a more advanced tutorial, please smash the likes and comments for me. If you've enjoyed this and want more, make sure you subscribe and connect with me on Facebook and Twitter. I hope to see you very soon. Peace out.